It is I, ThickChickVlogs, back yet again with another Dear Thick Chick video. As always, I want to remind you guys to go over and subscribe to Thick Chick TV. That link is always in the description box down below. Also, if you want some advice from me, feel free to send me an email at DearThickChick@hotmail.com. That email is also down in the description box below. Okay, we are going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to be brutally honest. This one right here kind of pulled at my heartstrings just a little bit. And I want you guys to please, if you don't comment on anything else, comment on this, okay? And give this guy some advice, because he seems to really need it, okay? All right. My name is Brian. I don't mind you mentioning it. I need some advice. I've been dating my now fiance for 3 years. We recently welcomed a baby girl into our life. We are extremely happy and overjoyed and can't wait to become one next year. We only have one problem. Her family doesn't approve of her dating someone who is black. I have tried my hardest to prove myself to them and show them that I am not who they think I am. He put think in, the quotations. I have always been a supporter of their daughter financially and emotionally. They have basically shunned her out of their lives. They have never called me the N-word to my face, but she has said numerous times they have said it in her presence when I wasn't around. They do not want a black man in their family, and they refuse to see our daughter. We are set to get married in June of next year, but she doesn't want to deal with the fact that if she marries me, she will never see her family again. I am at a loss at this point. I am afraid that if her family doesn't come around, she will call off the wedding. Any advice on what I can do to prove myself to her family? Brian. I'm gonna be brutally honest with you, Brian, okay? It seems to me that there is nothing that you can say or do to get these people to accept you. There is no reason why, after you have shown yourself to be a decent man, a supporter of their daughter, someone who takes care of her physically and emotionally, as well as you guys' new daughter, there is no way on earth that I would be continuously trying to prove myself to such bigoted and racist as people. This has nothing to do with them just not liking you. This has everything to do with them being racist. Clearly, that they're calling you niggers. Okay, they're calling you a nigger behind your back in front of their daughter. Okay, and the fact that they refuse to see their own grandchild simply because she is 50% black. That is completely and utterly the most disgusting thing that the future in-laws can do to a person. It's bad enough that they don't want to see me. Me being you, being the future husband of their daughter and the father to their grandchild. That's bad enough in itself. But the simple fact that they refuse to see their own grandchild, who is a part of them, who has their blood pumping through her veins, that is just completely and utterly the most disgusting thing that a person can do. And as far as you saying that you don't know, you're thinking that she may end up calling off of the wedding because she don't want to deal with the fact that she may never see her family again, because if she marries you, her parents pretty much, I guess I'm assuming they told her that they never want to see her again if she goes on with the marriage, and you're afraid that she's going to call off the wedding. I mean, pretty much what you have to do. I totally understand a person not wanting to not have anything to do with their family anymore. I completely understand that, because I couldn't even imagine never speaking to my mother again, never speaking to my sister again. I can't even imagine that. Even though we may, fuss and fight, I can never imagine never speaking to them again in my life. Okay, but when you have someone who is in a situation to where they are trying to start a life of their own, okay, you didn't mention how old you guys were, but I'm assuming you're old enough to get married, okay, you're having a child together, so I'm assuming you're grown, and the fact that, she doesn't want to deal with the fact that she may never speak to her mother and her father again, or I'm assuming her other family as well, but you did say her parents. The fact that she doesn't want to deal with that anymore, you guys have to sit down collectively and have a adult conversation. If you can have an adult conversation with her parents without them being just bigoted, racist idiots. If you can sit down with your future wife and her parents and have an adult conversation and discuss the reasons why they are so against her marrying you. You said that you take care of her. I'm assuming you treat her right. You basically said that they don't want a black person in their family. And that is the reason why they are basically shunning their daughter out of their family. And they're telling her, if you go ahead and marry this black man, we don't want to have anything else to do with you. You have to sit your wife down. If they don't want to have a conversation with you, sit your future wife down and ask her, you have to tell her that will be something, that will be a decision that she would have to make. Okay. I wouldn't tell her, well, just don't talk to them no more. I would tell her how I feel. And I would tell her that, if they, that sometimes you have to, show people tough love. Okay. And I understand that that is her family. But at the end of the day, she has to make a life for herself. And there's no way in hell I'm going to let anyone dictate who I should and I shouldn't love. Okay. My thing is this: people need to understand that, yes, I may be a little bit darker than you. You may be a little bit lighter than me. Your hair may be a different texture from mine. But at the end of the day, if you get a knife and you cut us, me and you both, we are both going to bleed red blood. If a person shoots us in the head, we're both going to die. We are all one and the same. The only difference is our pigmentation and our hair texture. At the end of the day, we're all human. We were all created by the same creator. We are no different. Unfortunately, in 2014, people are still treating us as though we're back in the early 1900s, okay? Back in the slavery time, back when, it was basically damn near lynch mob time if you were caught dating someone of the opposite race. It was, that was against all rules. You could not even look at a white man, white woman. A white man couldn't look at a black woman, black man, okay? It was just unheard of. But in 2014, who the fuck cares what color someone is? Who really gives a damn? And the fact that they are basically telling her we don't want to have anything to do with him or our granddaughter, that is grounds right there enough for me to say, you know what, Mom and Dad, I love you, but I'm sorry. I'm going to live my life for myself. If you decide that you don't want to have anything else to do with me, my future husband, and our daughter, then I am sorry. If you guys ever change your mind, if you want to come around eventually, once you realize that the things that you're saying is basically stupid, idiotic, and bigoted and racist, if eventually you realize that those things that you are saying and doing is pretty much, against anything God ever wanted to happen in the whole universe. If you realize that the things that you're saying is totally disrespectful, uncalled for, and downright wrong, and you decide that you want to come back into me and your grandchild's life and apologize and accept my future husband, then maybe we can do that. But for right now, I'm going to have to step out and create a life for myself with the person that I am in love with. And we're going to have to go from there. That's what I personally would do. So I would just have a sit down talk with my wife, my future wife, and I would have that conversation with her. I would try to have a conversation with her and her parents together to try to understand why they're so hateful towards black people. But sometimes, they don't even want a black person in their presence. You got some people who are so bigoted that they don't even want to have a black person in their presence. They're just that damn racist, and they are out there. But the only advice I can give to you is try to have a sit down conversation with them and try to reason with them, even though you shouldn't have to. And if that doesn't work, have a conversation with your future wife and ask her, what steps she would like to take. Because at the end of the day, you don't want to sit there and you don't want to jump the gun and get married to her. I mean, I'm just going to be brutally honest, get married to her, and later on down the line, she's really missing her family, which is natural. And, she decides that she wants to leave the relationship and go back home to her family. The only problem with that would be is she would be coming back into the family with a mixed child, a child who is half black and half white. And the fact that her parents are refusing to see their grandchild who is half black and half white, what happens at the end of the day when it comes time for, you know, she decides she wants to have a relationship with her parents again. I'm not sure if maybe they're telling her, okay, if you don't marry him, we'll accept our grandchild. But the fact that you don't like me and I'm black and my baby is black too, how can I be sure that you're not going to mistreat her because she's a part of me? You understand what I'm saying? So I would just sit down and have a very, very serious conversation with my future wife and get her viewpoints on things and try to have a sit down talk with her parents. If that doesn't work, then me and her will have to come to a mutual understanding or mutual agreement about what we're going to do. And then we're going to have to go from there. But the fact that they don't even want to see their grandchild who's half black, half white, I don't even see how that's going to work at the end of the day. But so if anyone out there has been in an interracial relationship where your parents or your family didn't want you to be dating that person of the opposite race or whatever, or if you have any advice, if you are one of those people who don't believe in interracial relationships for whatever reason, leave that also in the comment section below. But I would like you guys to give Brian some advice on things that he should do. The fact that his future in-laws do not approve of him dating their daughter because he is African American, and they refuse to see their grandchild who is half black, that is Brian's new daughter, him and his wife's new daughter. And the fact that he's afraid that his wife is going to call off the wedding because her parents told her if she marries him that they are no longer willing to accept her into their family. So leave your advice and comments and everything in the comment section below, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.